In this video I'm going to show you how to create a string pull, which is a really cool technique. These are some examples and I've used different thicknesses of string. I found that the best one was kind of like an embroidery thread. It was sort of medium thickness, it was quite absorbent, whereas the sewing thread was too thin. Wool was a bit too absorbent and it soaked up too much of the ink and was a bit blobby. So this one was the best. So ink up your string, get a big heavy book, fold a piece of paper in half, fairly thick if you've got it, and then arrange your soaked string, embroidery thread, onto the page. Try and create some loops at the top and then let the strings come down the bottom. Then fold over your paper, then book. Make sure you've got a little bit of string hanging out the bottom and the paper so that you don't drag ink all over your book, and then pull hard. Try and keep the string in one place at the bottom, in one position, and you get a nice thin end to your string pull. And then opening back up, and here's the kind of effect you've got. So the bigger the loops at the top, the more the sort of flower-like or fluted it becomes. So here's one where I had 3 pieces of string and dipped it in blue ink. Now I'm going to look at an artist called Yelena James, who creates these crazy coral flower effects. And so using just 1/2 of my string pull, I then started to draw into it using a black pen. And kind of, it's a little bit like a Zentangle in some ways, in that you just kind of let your pen move around the page, creating sort of these abstract, imaginary flower shapes. It's quite nice to sort of do black and white, stronger areas, little bits floating around. But this technique would be quite useful if you were trying to create coral wreaths, if it's something to do with obviously flowers and nature, but you could use it in all sorts of different ways depending on what you're doing. I tried out lots of different inks and materials to dip it in. Good old coffee, which created a very light effect. It would work for food colouring. I tried acrylics, tried the Quink ink, and then I just used felt tip pens to draw back into the design with contrasting colours.